Hi, everyone.
Hello, Rashid. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know, I'm doing well considering.
It's a lot's going on. Like, I can't hear you.
I was going to say I've been muted. Oh, you've been muted.
Thank you. Today is Thursday, April 7th, and it is the monthly meeting of the Revere Human Rights Commission. And now that the meeting has been called to order, I would like to share my screen to just go over a couple of things since we have a lot of people joining us tonight. Welcome, all of you that are here in person. So, what just happened there? There we go. So on my screen is a section from our HRC webpage, Guidelines for HRC Meetings and Public Forum. If we have time for a public forum tonight, I will share this again. However, I do want to bring attention to number 3. Guests are expected to speak in an open and respectful way. Aggressive speech or slander will not be tolerated. Guests will be muted or deemed out of order after being reminded more than twice, and the guest may be removed from the meeting. Now, in particular, I'd like to bring your attention to the Open Meeting Law Statute, Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20. I do see people videotaping the meeting. Thank you for coming. So, okay. Okay, so you can please take your seat. Okay, so, excuse me. I am the chairperson. Okay, not really. So I'm going to continue. For those people that are videotaping the meeting, after notifying the chair of the public body, any person may make a video or audio recording of an open session of a meeting of a public body. So I see a couple of people recording, and so I assume that you've informed me as the chair that you are recording the meeting. And and I'm reading from the open meeting law. You can record the meeting through any medium, subject to reasonable requirements of the chair as to the number, placement, and operation of equipment used, so as to not interfere with the conduct of the meeting. So that's important. You can videotape, but not walk around and be disrupting our business. No person shall address a meeting of a public body without permission of the chair, and all persons shall, at the request of the chair, be silent. So, those of you, we're glad that you're here, and you have to be silent. No person shall disrupt the proceedings of a meeting of a public body. If, after clear warning from the chair, a person continues to disrupt the proceedings, the chair may order the person to withdraw from the meeting, and if the person does not withdraw, the chair may authorize a constable or other officer to remove the person from the meeting. So for all of you, if you want to stay, you can't be walking around disrupting our ability to conduct business, and you need to be silent. So you're welcome, we want you here, but you need to allow us to conduct business, okay? So I wanted to state that. Okay. So we'll take a roll call. When I call your name, please respond, unmute yourself. Lynn Alexis.
Present.
Present in person. Thank you. Reverend Timothy Bogertman.
Present.
Present in person, thank you. Chief Christopher Bright.
Present.
Present in person, thank you. Chief David Callahan.
Present.
Present in person, thank you. Dr. Lorenzo Garcia.
Present.
Present in person, thank you. Vice Chair Shema Monsieur Hosseini. I do not see Vice Chair Hosseini remote or in person. Rashid Mukabir.
Present remotely.
Present remotely, thank you. Karu Pish.
Present.
Present in person, thank you. Kathy Reinstein.
Present.
Present in person, thank you. And I'm the chair, Janine Grillo-Mara. I am present in person. I also want to acknowledge that Dr. Maritza Barros, who is the Chief Officer of Talent and Culture and who is also the HRC Director, that she is joining us remotely. If you'd like to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. I'm terribly sorry that I could not be there in person, and I'm trying to, I wish I can at least have a view of the room to see who's there. But thank you for all of you who have shown up, and I look forward to our conversation today.
Thank you, Dr. Barros. And now we begin with a land acknowledgement so that we can remember the history of the land and pay homage to that and honor to that. So I will screen share. Whoop. Got ahead of myself. Okay. So we would like to acknowledge the traditional overseers of this land on which this meeting takes place, as well as honor what this land means to the culture and traditions of those who originally occupied this space. In addition, we extend a welcome to any Aboriginal, Native American, and/or First Nation people joining us today. And I'll show you another image. So you can see here that Revere is, which you can see in this gray area, we are on the land of the Pawtucket tribe. Okay, so we'll just take a moment to acknowledge this land and its roots and those people. And so now we usually take a few minutes to what we call arrive and settle. And the reason we do this is because generally in our culture, we spend a lot of time lost in our thoughts and in a very mental, intellectual headspace. So this is just an opportunity for us to drop into our bodies, to drop into our hearts, so that we can be fully present as we engage in important discussion and conversation. So I invite you to sort of make this work for you, whatever your belief system is, and however it's really best for you to be present and to be more relaxed and open-hearted, so that we're not just here like arguing about our opinions, that we're here to sort of in the long run, ultimately have more connection and sense of belonging. So just find a position that feels comfortable for you. And just notice the position you're in and feel the shape and the volume of your body, how you're not floating around. And if it feels comfortable, you can take some slow, deep breaths. We all connect through the breath. We're all alive and breathing and in bodies. And so just being present in the body, just feeling and noticing whatever mood or emotional tone is here. And seeing if we can make space for whatever is here. And then take a moment in your own way to bring to mind the Ukraine war and the challenges. Conflict, violence, division. And all other conflict and division around the world, known and unknown. Because ultimately, we all want to be happy, we don't want to suffer, so we're more connected than we might believe, than it may appear. And before we state our mission statement, I'd like to just remind you that I'm going to start issuing warnings for those of you that continue to walk around and speak. Okay? So now we'll begin with our mission statement, as we usually do. So those of you that are on Zoom, you'll have to stay muted, unfortunately, so we don't have feedback. But those of you in the chambers, please unmute yourself. And Paula, could you please screen share? So if anyone that's here would like to join us, they're welcome to. Okay, here we go. The mission of the Revered Human Rights Commission is to promote human and civil rights and empower all people of Revere by ensuring that everyone, especially the most vulnerable and marginalized, have equitable opportunities, equal access, and are treated with dignity, respect, fairness, and justice. Thank you. Okay. Excuse me? Okay, so you're walking around, and you're walking around wanting one. Okay. So our first order of business is the approval of minutes from the March 10th monthly meeting. So each of you received the draft of the minutes, as well as they've been posted on the webpage for a couple of weeks now. Does anyone have any suggested edits or changes to those? Please speak. And none seen or heard, then we can, I'll entertain a motion to accept those, approve those minutes.
I'll offer a motion to accept the minutes.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor, please unmute or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Aye. Reverend, did you say aye? Aye, okay, and Mr. Mukabir is raising his hand, thank you. We have some unfinished business. At the March 10th meeting, when we had a recess and a suspension, there was a technical oversight, so the meeting was inadvertently ended. And so if we don't officially adjourn that meeting, this meeting is actually a continuation of that meeting. So I ask that someone would offer a motion to adjourn the March 10th, 2022 meeting.
Motion to adjourn the March meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Dr. Garcia? Aye. And Rashid, thank you. Okay. Next is the director's report and updates. So as Dr. Barros gives us some updates, she can pause after each one. If any of the commissioners, I'll give you an opportunity if you'd like to ask a question or share on that. So I'll hand it over to Dr. Barros.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. Yes, so Dr. Maritza Barros here, pronouns she, her, hers. I am here to offer my report in a few words, and I want to start by giving it a shout out and thank you to Revere TV. I'm just being online is having me experience this meeting in a different way, and I just want to share my appreciation for the ability to see in the room. Right now I see my face, so that's okay because I'm speaking, but it's good to see that we have folks in the room. I wanted to start by speaking to folks whom are not with us and who may watch this video after it's already aired, because I want to call out to your voices. Again, I am new to the city of Revere. My role is new to the structure of the municipality. There's a lot of opportunity for us to find commonality even within our differences. I know it's not easy, and I want to name that it's not easy to work in this condition where we have opposition in the room. We respect, all voices and opinions, and we've stated our mission statement, so we understand that we're here for all people, right? And I just hope that for those whom are not seeing eye to eye with us right now, that just your presence and your being with us and being part of the conversations and just hearing the things that we're discussing and we're trying to get accomplished, that you will be moved and you will have a new perspective, hopefully, and a new understanding of what authentic and true inclusion looks like and what it takes to get there, because it does take every single one of us, even if we're not quite, on the same path, lane, or what have you right now. I think there's room and space for all ideologies. And here we're willing to, work through difference and think through conflict so that we can get to a place where whatever we're doing, whatever we're pouring into benefits every single one of us and uplifts the most vulnerable. So I just want to name that because I know for those of you all who are here to support and get engaged constructively and positively, it's not easy to work in this environment, especially when we think about the state of our community nationally, right? What's hitting hard home for me right now is that I'm also new to city government. So I'm thinking about the people who are not connected and feel like their voices are not heard or belong in this space. I want you to know that that was me too, right? I come from a family and a culture. My parents migrated from the Cape Verde Islands. Growing up, I didn't know what it meant to own my city and contribute and have a voice, and knowing that people want to hear me. And so I just want you to know that when I'm in the chambers, I get nervous because I'm not sure if I should be standing straight up or if I could be comfortable or relaxed. And so I want us to know that this is going to be a space that we can co-create together. And I'm different. I look different. I speak different. I sound different. I speak different language. No habla español, me entiende un poquito. Yo crioulo, não fala crioulo direito, right? And I want everybody to feel comfortable to be their true, authentic selves when they're in that space. And I just want to make that call out before I start with my report so that I can come to a place where we can feel relatable, right? And connect as humans and really figure out how we're going to get Revere, the city of Revere, to become an inclusively excellent city and be a leading city as a model of what we can do together and how far we can get together. All right, so let me jump into my report.
Excuse me, Dr. Barrows. There was an oversight on my part. I wanted to mention that the translator that usually is with us at these meetings, who does the Spanish translation, unfortunately, they could not be here. So there will be a recorded Spanish translation of the meeting shortly after, as soon as they can translate it, and it will be on the Revere TV YouTube's channel. So I just wanted to state that because I had forgot initially.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Do you want to take a moment also and acknowledge our Vice Chair?
Thank you. I didn't see her. Thank you. So Vice Chair Shema Hosseini is now here virtually. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I know we have a lot of business to get to, so I'll keep it short and sweet. I wanted to just update folks. We did officially launch our 21-day racial equity habit building challenge. I'm so proud and happy to say we have 45 people registered within the municipality, 55 within Revere Public Schools. So we are off to some great numbers, and many others. Everyone is actually being engaged and communicated to daily. So I just want folks to know that give me 1 second, because I just want to make sure I share with you exactly what we're focused on, because the 3 weeks is going to be some great conversations. We're starting with regrounding, so foundational concepts and some learning about how we got here. Week 2, next week, we'll start talking about revelations and reckoning, digging into more specific aspects of race and equity in food and related sectors. And then the final week, we're talking about reseeding fierce love futures, inspiration and motivation, stories of the amazing work already being done. And so we are discussing daily. The engagement is going very well, and we'll have our first live discussion on Monday. So we'll have 3 by the time we complete the challenge, and then we'll launch into other pathways and opportunities for us to continue doing the work. So I wanted to share that. I also wanted to share that the REMAP team is
Excuse me, Dr. Barrows. The 3 of you in the back, you've been warned. You're talking and moving around, and it's difficult for me to pay attention to what Dr. Barrows and other commissioners may be saying. And I need to take notes for the meeting, so please, if you could just keep your voice down and stay in one place, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. So in regards to the REMAP, I just want to give you all a heads up. We're going to be preparing to offer a presentation to the Human Rights Commission during our June meeting. We were hoping to get it out sooner, but there are some logistical things we're working through. So just prepare for the month of June, and we'll give some more details next month. Next, I want to wish everyone a happy Ramadan. And I also want to invite a speaker to Asma. Is Asma with us? And my apologies, because I'm actually.
So, we now have Asma Abu Fuda. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Do you know how to put the mic on? So we have a guest speaker who is now going to give us a little bit of an update on Ramadan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the time to share about my culture with you. So April 2nd was the start of our holy month of Ramadan, where we fast for the 30 days from the sunrise to sunset. Only people who are in a good health are required to fast. So those who are sick, old, pregnant, and children don't have to fast. This is a time for us to practice self-discipline, get closer with God, and gather with families. Before the sunrise, we wake up early and eat to get ready for fasting. Then, during the day, we practice different acts of worship, like praying, giving charity, and help others. Finally, when the sun sets, families prepare to eat a big dinner together while appreciating what they have. Fasting helps us understanding what people who don't have food feel. This is a very important month for us. It was when our holy book, the Quran, was sent down 43 years ago. On April 29, I want to invite all of you to share Ramadan traditions, food, culture, and music. With us, we will have an iftar dinner at the Senior Center from the 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. If you are interested, please call us to reserve a spot at 617-545-4458, as the seats are limited. Thank you again, and we will love to see you there. Thank you.
Why don't you just stay there a moment in case, do any of the commissioners have any questions before our guest speaker leaves the podium? Questions or comments? Go ahead, Dr. Garcia.
I just want to thank you for coming tonight to present on your culture. It's always good when people from different cultures come. They share their tradition, the way of life, their religion. We can always learn from those experiences, and also it's just great to hear. Sometimes we hear about Ramadan. There's misconception, misunderstanding, and you coming here and presenting to us is certainly add value to our knowledge and experience. So I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
I do have one question, Asma, before you sit down. Thank you. I want to echo what Dr. Garcia shared. I think I want to encourage others who want to share of their culture as well to please reach out to us, because this is the beauty of coming together and be able to learn from one another.
Yeah.
Asma, you shared a phone number, and I'm just thinking, just in case someone wasn't able to write that down, can folks easily maybe email Human Rights Commission and I can pass along RSVPs or interest to RSVP for the event?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. Just to make it easier for folks to get connected. And again, you said April 29,
29, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Senior Center. And the address is 25 Winthrop Avenue, Revere.
Thank you so much. And again, happy Ramadan.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Paris. Thank you.
Thank you, and we hope to see you there.
Hati Asma, can I say something real quick?
Yes, Vice Chair Hosseini.
Hati Asma, if you let me know if you don't have a flyer, because I could make a flyer for you guys. Just let me know, just so everyone can have all that information in one place.
Thank you. Oh, Asma I spoke for her. She was going to do.
So,
yeah, we will have a flyer actually, and we will translate it in different language, and we will send an invitation for the people who's interested to attend that day.
Okay, would you like me to make the flyer, or do you already have one?
Yeah, of course, Shay.
Okay.
We love your help. Thank you.
Anytime, Khatu, anytime.
Thank you.
And we'll get it on our website.
She say Khalto, it's mean auntie. So it's an Arabic word. So she's respecting me, and she's saying this word before she say my name. So thank you, Shay.
Thank you for telling us that. I love it. Thank you so much.
So it sounds like, excuse me, it's not the public forum, and Easter is on the agenda. Okay, so you have another warning. This is your second warning. Next time, you'll be escorted out. Okay. So, Vice Chair Shea, it sounds like you offered to do a flyer and that you will follow up with that, and then that we will help publicize that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So back to Dr. Barros's report.
I'm going to pass to Rashid, who'd like to make a comment.
Sure. Thank
Go
you so
ahead,
much.
Rashid, sorry.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barros. I just want to thank Asma for this great work that she's doing. I worked with Asma in the past. She's wonderful, hard worker. Appreciate all the work that she's been doing in the city to give the Arab community a voice. I appreciate her support to Revere TV. I also worked with her in the past where she is teaching Arabic to community members. I had my students come in to her center, deploying new computers, donating new computers, supporting her for the work that she's been doing. I also was at the senior center last week where we deployed more computers for our seniors to learn about computers. And I was invited to attend the iftar dinner. I will do my best or anything I can help with. If I can't be there, anything I can do to help, do not hesitate, Asma, to contact me, as always. Finally, I want to thank Mayor Arrigo for putting the banner at the City Hall. It means a lot to the Moroccan community, to the Arab community, to the Muslim community in general. This is like we're making history here in the city. We are being a role model because I see like a lot of people on Facebook admire what's been happening in our city. We respect all cultures. We respect all religions, and that's why we are here, to acknowledge each other, to support each other, to give back to this community that it's holding us. Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone for their support.
Thank you, Rashid. Does anyone else want to speak before we go back to Dr. Barros's report? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Rashid, for naming that about the flag. I must say, it is my favorite flag that I've seen so far, hung up in City Hall. All right, and the last item on my list, I wanted to wish everyone a happy Easter as we're going into this weekend. And for those who celebrate, we know it's a dominant holiday in our American culture. So many of us know what Easter is all about, so we won't go there, but I do welcome folks during the public forum. If you want to say anything in honor of Easter, feel free. But I hope everyone enjoys their holiday weekend.
Excuse me, Dr. Barros. Reverend Tim, would you like to say anything? I know that you're sort of in full mode with Holy Week coming up.
Yeah.
Anyone else, of course, could also speak about Easter, but I thought I'd offer to you first.
Thanks,
Dr. Barros, is it okay if we pause a moment here?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, just want to share, excited about Holy Week coming up. Palm Sunday is this Sunday. We celebrate that, of course, coming up. And then the whole week following after that, we have many events. Remember that. Good Friday, the following Friday. Remember the death of Christ for our sins. And then, of course, Easter Sunday, the resurrection of Christ from the grave. And so we celebrate that coming up a week from this coming Sunday. So we're excited to have that. And Holy Week is a good chance to remember that. So I know we have Immaculate Conception, as well as I believe that St. Anthony's is going to be having some things as well. And so we look forward to celebrating Protestant or Catholic, to celebrate that together, to remember that as we have the season time together. So we thank the Lord for that and the chance to remember who Christ is to us. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Lynn Alexis?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and Reverend. I'm also excited for Easter, and I do want to thank you for speaking about your culture, Ramadan. Being a follower of Christ is dear and near to my heart, and I'm also reminiscent of the work of Jesus Christ while he's on earth and loving others. So I'm grateful that I get to be a voice to serve my public in that way, and I'm also really excited for Easter. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on this side, or I'll make sure I check the Zoom screen. Sorry about that before. No, okay. So back to you, Dr. Barrow. Actually, no, your section is done, I believe, correct? Yes.
Well, Madam Chair, I was gonna just acknowledge my, the commissioners. I didn't get to formally say hello and welcome them, and thank you all for your continued partnership and work in this work, and then open up to anything that I shared. If there's any comments or questions on what I've shared in my report, offer that time.
Okay, so I'm going to give each commissioner an opportunity to speak. If you don't have anything to say or ask, you can pass, but I'll sort of start with Dr. Garcia.
I just want to, echo what Dr. Barros said earlier about the 20-day racial equity challenge that we have going on for the employees of the city government, but also for the schools. We have a significant number of people who have signed up for this challenge. It's always good to use the forum to really continue to build our knowledge on equity, justice, and other aspects that really touch upon our lives. So, it's going very well. I hope that, next year, this event will be shared and actually giving to the public of Revere, to the residents of Revere also to participate, because we can always grow and develop when we work together towards a common goal. So this is great. I'm glad that we have people from all kinds of experiences, backgrounds joining the event, and I'm really enjoying it with all the reading, literature, pieces of history of this country, and so it's been great. So I just want to echo that.
Thank you. Chief Callahan.
I'll pass. Thank you.
Thank you. Karupesh.
I want to lift up Dr. Garcia and Dr. Barros' voices. Thank you so much for putting together the 21-day racial equity challenges. And thank you so much for sharing those information. I had a pleasure and leisure reading all of the information, and most of them I did not know, and it's very informational and knowledgeable. So thank you both very, very much. And I also want to thank Ashma for sharing the Ramadan, and I appreciate all the information. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Kathy Reinstein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to echo what Karu said. Thank you, Ashma, for coming and educating us a little bit about Ramadan. Thank you so much, and I hope that you and everyone who celebrates Ramadan has a happy and healthy one. And again, thank you, Dr. Barros and Dr. Garcia for putting together the Equity Challenge. It's been really good and complementary to some of the things that I'm lucky enough to do at my place of work. And I'm really learning a lot about the indigenous side of, where we live, and it has been really educational. And I really appreciate that, so thank you.
Thank you. Rashid?
Thank you so much for sharing all of this information. It's great to appreciate each other culture, and I wish to see all communities, all religions in one place celebrating the holy month, celebrating Easter, and we should always look at things that unite us. And I wanna wish a happy Ramadan to all the Muslims out there, and happy Easter to all the people celebrating Easter this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashid. Vice Chair Shema Hosseini.
I just want to echo what everyone has said so far. Thank you, Khatu Esmat, for coming and being one of the prominent leaders of the Muslim community. I also want to give have a happy Easter and Palm Sunday for anyone who celebrates it. Additionally, I guess I feel like, I don't know if I could say this now or I could say this in the other businesses, but I feel like we should definitely talk about Passover for the Jewish community that starts on the 15th. I could bring this up again in the other businesses, but I feel like we should also speak about also the Jewish community, since everyone else is mentioning all the holidays that are going on this month. I also want to give thanks to Dr. Barrows and some members of the COVID ambassadors who did brought up, well, not COVID ambassadors, well, common community health ambassadors that brought up the 21-day racial equity challenge in the first place. And I think that not only should people who work for the city or in the schools should take a part of the challenge, but even also people of the community, especially particular members of the community, should also take a part of, just to get more knowledge and understand what it means to be racially equitable. And what racial equity means in the first place. But yeah, overall, I think we're doing a great job and we should keep on going. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Bright.
I too would like to thank Dr. Garcia and Dr. Barrows for putting this together. You made it very easy for us, having all the resources on one page. It's very easy to do. There's some great articles and video. It does not take a lot of time, and I would urge anyone who hasn't started, it's not too late to jump on. Get in there and educate yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Bright. Reverend Tim Bogertman.
I just want to say thank you to Ashman as well. Again, to say that earlier for Shemet Ramadan. And as we said, whether we're celebrating Easter as Christians or for you as well as Muslim from that perspective, I appreciate you coming forward to share during your time here. So I wanted to say that earlier, so thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Lynn Alexis.
Yes, thank you. I also want to say thank you for the equity education. I've been tuning in to the emails recently, just learning about the equity in the food chain business in the United States. So that has been eye-opening, especially as I'm celebrating one of my friends who just was registered as a dietitian. So it was just interesting to know that some of the ills have been plagued in different industries and just really overall. I do also want to say that I'm super encouraged by the faces that I see here in the audience. We want to be the voice of the community. So I love to see constituents and residents and everyone alike come out and join us and be involved in the process as we work together. So thank you all.
Thank you, Lynn.
Madam Chair, can I just say one thing?
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Garcia.
I just want to thank also a lot of faces that I see in this room here. People that I have worked with in school departments, many other people that are here. I just want to thank you for coming and for being. Your presence means a lot to the Human Rights Commission. Sometimes we have meetings with just few people. Just seeing you in this room, whether you are on the opposite side or in favor of the Human Rights Commission, it really doesn't matter. So what really matters is that your presence is here. I just want to thank you all for being here.
Thank you. So first warning for you. And now I'll finish with by just echoing the wisdom shared by the commissioners and also Asma for coming. It's not easy to get up and speak publicly, and it's really great to hear about other cultures. It's only when we really learn from each other that we start to realize that we don't have such obvious differences. We might just have unique differences, but not fundamental differences. So thank you, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Barrows. The information in the challenge is great. And Shay, thank you for mentioning about Passover. We want to be as inclusive as possible with all holidays and celebrations, so. So now we'll go on to
Madam
the,
Chair?
yes, go
Can
ahead,
I-
Dr. Barros.
Can I just add that if there's anyone here with us today who can speak to Passover during the public forum, I welcome that. If not, I want to make sure we give space to that. If we could just take note for our next meeting, because though the holiday would have passed, it's still going to be great to learn about that culture and that holiday. Also want to spotlight Vice Chair Hosseini. You named the youth ambassadors as well. Thank you all. Thank you specifically, because if it weren't for you bringing the 21-day racial equity challenge to our attention, we wouldn't be engaging. So, and thank you to the Food Solutions of New England. They're the ones who did all the hard work for us to be able to benefit. So thank you.
I mean, I won't take all the credit. I mean, I would give it, shout out to Brittany Sao. She's my boss from the investors, and Dimple Rana. They're the ones who brought it up to the group in the first place, and I just thought it was a good idea to, give it, like, spread the word around to anyone who wants it. But yeah, I want to give credit where it's due.
We always want to give credit where it's due, and this is a great example. If anyone in the city, you have an idea, you know of something that would be great for all of us to benefit from, bring it to us here so we can try to bring it to life together.
Thank you, Vice Chair and Dr. Barros. And so now moving on, so if anyone can speak on Passover, you'll have an opportunity during the public forum. We'll see how much time we have at that point. And so now for the topics for discussion. The first topic is solidarity with the Cambodian community. The AAPI, if you're not familiar with that term, American Asian Pacific Islander community, have suffered a lot of discrimination, and it's been brought to our attention that there's still harm in that community and a need for healing. And so with Cambodian New Year falling in April, we'd like to just have a conversation of how we might be able to support this community. We'd also like to hear from the community if they feel so inclined, and if that feels safe to do so, of how we might be able to be of support. And so I'll open this up to anyone who might want to get it started, and then we can pass it from there. Go ahead, Carol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you so much for bringing up this topic. And I also want to share that Cambodian New Year is starting on the 14th to the 16th this year. And there will be celebration at the temple on Thornton Street in Revere. And there will be lots of foods and praying, and also cultural activities that you can come and join us for the celebration. So everyone is invited. There are lots of food. You don't have to bring food. You feel free to bring, to share, and at the same time, there's so much food that enough for everyone, not just to eat there, but also to bring home. Everyone is welcome.
Thank you. Karu? Chief Bright? Okay. Reverend Tim?
Pass for now, maybe come back in a minute.
Mm-hmm. Lynn?
Pass. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Kathy Reinstein?
I'll pass for now, thank you.
Yeah. Chief Callahan?
I'll just say, like Karu mentioned, excuse me, it's always a nice thing, Cambodian festival down on Thornton Street, and it's been going on for many years down here, and it kind of unites the community, and a lot of people get along, and you see a lot of different people from different cultures, and everybody kind of intermingles. It's a nice thing to see, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Dr. Garcia?
Well, I just want to thank you for inviting us. I've never attended one, but, just listen to you, it sounds that it will be very festive and commemorative, and I look forward to it.
Thank you. Vice Chair Shema Hosseini?
Honestly, I can't wait till attend. I just want to put it out there that I want the people who are part of, well, not I want, I encourage the people who are part of the Cambodian community to not only speak out of what, not speak out, but like provide resources for people who don't really understand Cambodian history, especially in Revere, and just to shine light on the many years of discrimination that the Cambodian community has seen, even since the 20th century. So I just want to put it out there, like, if you don't want to come out and speak about it yourself, I feel like I encourage folks who are a part of the community to provide the HRC with resources so that we can provide that for everyone else who wants to sit down and understand and really comprehend what it is to be a Cambodian and understand what Cambodian history means in Revere.
Thank you, Vice Chair Shea. Okay, so warning number 2, yes. I'm glad we're on the same page. Yep. Okay. I think I said we're on the same page. I didn't call you anything. So thank you, Vice Chair. Rashid?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I just want to stand in solidarity with the Cambodian community and wish them a Happy New Year. I've seen the celebration in Toronto Street in the past. I did also interact with a lot of people from the Cambodian community in the city. So many of them are my friends. I've been in the temple twice, and I remember when we used to organize the Moroccan festival at Cherry Ave. I came into the temple and they asked them for tables and chairs. They didn't even know me, and they gave me the chairs and the tables. I returned them, and we had friendship from that time. I also invited them one day to a Ramadan iftar. I also worked with members of the Cambodian community to put the cultural section at the Revere History Museum, and our organization, Maser, gave a grant of $1,000 to the Cambodian community to create a section that tell their history in the city of Revere at the Revere History Museum. And they will be looking forward to work with the Cambodian community and other communities in the city of Revere to better represent our city. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rashid. Just give me a moment because it seems that some people prefer not to stay in the room. Excuse me, this gentleman in the back corner and the woman? Wanting. But no, I read guidelines at the beginning. You need to be silent. You need to be silent so that we can conduct business. It's part of the open meeting law statute. We have to be silent. Okay. So I think we need to escort some people out of the room. So the people that were just yelling need to be, okay, so this is not the public forum. It's not your meeting. It's not your meeting. So, no, this is our monthly meeting. Can you please escort these 2 people that won't stop talking out of the meeting? Excuse me, excuse me. Excuse me, for those that maybe came, for the benefit, for those who came in late, excuse me? We're volunteers. Excuse me, please, please. Excuse me, please. For those who may have missed it, so that you understand why I'm asking you to be quiet, for those that maybe came in late. Thank you, officer. So, excuse me. Okay. Okay, so in case you may have come in late, you may not have seen this, so I just want to say I am not making this up off of the top of my head. So no, we are trying to have conversations. I'm trying to take notes so that when people are yelling out comments, we cannot conduct business. It clearly states that no person shall disrupt the proceedings of a meeting of a public body. The line before that states that no person shall address a meeting of a public body without permission of the chair, which means you can't just be yelling out comments, and all persons shall, at the request of the chair, be silent. There will be an open forum section if we have time at the end, and then you can say something then. This is our monthly meeting, and there are other venues that you can reach out to the Human Rights Commission, and someone will respond to you or direct it to a department. So we're going to continue, but now hopefully we all understand why the officers may ask you to leave, because you need to be quiet so we can conduct business at our monthly meeting. Okay? So, all right, so now, Rashid, thank you for your words of not only stressing and emphasizing the celebration at Thornton Street, but also that the Cambodian culture have been invited to offer some items from their culture to the multicultural exhibit at the Revere History Museum. And I think that it is most important that the Cambodian community really do what feels safe and comfortable for them, and we're here to support them. So it's good to know about this celebration, and I hope that I'm available to come. And before we go on to the next topic, I know some of you passed. I just want to make sure that it looks like Reverend Tim has something to say.
Just one more additional thing. Since you mentioned the Cambodian community, the first Cambodian church established in America was the First Congregational Church in Revere. And so I just wanted to mention that. They still meet in our church building and every evening, every Sunday. So this is an evangelical church of Cambodian Christians that meets, and I think it's important to acknowledge them since we're bringing this up, to acknowledge that too, along with what Karu mentioned, that church also continues to have that celebration. And even for those who are Cambodian looking for a church for Easter, they're invited to come to that as well. I wanted to mention that too, since Karu brought that up, to celebrate the Cambodian community. They're a wonderful church to know and to connect with, and they've been in Revere for many years. So I want to mention that too.
Thank you. And I believe Dr. Barros may have had her hand up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to lift up Vice Chair Husani. Am I saying your last name right?
Hosseini, you're good.
Hosseini, thank you. I have to ask, but I wanted to just lift what you were saying about the Cambodian history in Revere, because I just want to acknowledge the voices that may not be here, and just name that we, Human Rights Commission, myself in my role, even on behalf of our city mayor that we want to be sure that we can support, and we want to hear from you all because as Madam Chair named, your safety and your comfort is what we want to center. But we do want to acknowledge for someone like myself who's not from Revere originally, hearing about the history and knowing what did happen and that sort of plight of the people, and now moving into the celebrations, it would be so moving and powerful. And I just want to encourage folks to reach out. If you're not comfortable or weren't aware that we were discussing this, just know that we are looking for those voices so that we can uplift and honor our Cambodian community.
Thank you, Dr. Barrows. Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry, Carew.
I also want to share the history of Cambodian community that are residing in this community in Revere. So I call Revere as home. And yet, there are lots of discrimination. I just want to share that amongst our community. And that's what we all have been experiencing. And then also, I'm sure there are many people of color have experienced the discrimination within the community as well. And if I am sitting here, this has been continuing. I have been harassed as an API woman, and I also have been attacked as well, and emotionally, physically. So thank you for uplifting the Cambodian and acknowledging the experiences that we have gone through, especially for the API that are going through right now. And I'm sure it happened to many people of color, especially Black community as well. So thank you.
Excuse me, this woman's out of order. She'll need to be ejected. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for attending. Okay, so Carew, were you done before we were so rudely interrupted?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Next is Pride Month. So June is, well, it used to be Gay Pride Month, but now it's more LGBTQ plus month. So the whole month is a celebration for their community. And there's usually a pride flag raising that happens outside City Hall. The date has not been set yet, but we will keep you posted on that. And Councilor Steve Morabito often works closely with the mayor, and he will be working closely with Dr. Barrows this year, since we now have a new director. And they'll be talking and meeting in upcoming days and weeks so that we can see sort of what might be done. But we thought to be proactive that we could maybe talk about what would be some ideas that the HRC could have for celebrating the LGBTQ plus community during the month of June, other than the Pride flag raising. We can't, I can't promise or guarantee that what we recommend will happen, but we can at least put some thoughts and suggestions forward. So does anyone want to start? Kathy Reinstein, go ahead, please.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Thank you for bringing this up. I'm very, very happy that the City of Revere recognizes Pride Month, and I really want to commend Council Morabito, especially too, for always leading the charge on this. I really appreciate him and the stance that he's taken for the LGBTQ plus community in the city. It's great. And I want to thank everybody who stands with them, too. I guess my recommendation as a commission.
Excuse me, this woman needs to leave because she was just holding a sign blocking Commissioner Kathy Reinstein. So that the sign, when she was speaking, the sign was blocking her face. That is interfering with our business and conducting business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can show it again if we want, and then you can remove her. See, she's right there, you can remove her.
I cannot see the full screen
Okay,
with the.
great.
So as the chair of the meeting, I do not want those signs up while commissioners are speaking.
They can have them up.
Not in front of someone's face, not interfering with the Revere TV
That's okay.
podcast.
You know what? It's fine. Everyone's entitled to have their opinion, so I'm fine with it. So anyway, I'm really happy that there is an LGBTQ group of great residents in the city that work to put the Pride Committee together. And I really look forward to attending another flag raising. I think as a commission, what would be great is if we could work with that group to celebrate that and support them in any way. And if there's anything that, as a group, we decide to put forward, I look forward to supporting it. And that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
And I really look forward to continuing to work on this commission for a very, very, very long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Carew?
Yes, I'm really excited about the city raising the flag for the Pride Month. And I also would like to invite all the GLBTQ plus youth to come to join us to raise the flag. And I also thanks to City Councilor Morabito for leading this as well. Greatly appreciate the efforts.
And so far, both you and Kathy support whatever comes up, but no specific recommendations at this time.
Isn't there a group that kind of there's a LGBTQ group that puts together, or is it just the flag raising? That was my question. Because I thought there was a group that kind of put the event together, so I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. If they had a group, we would just be in a support role with them.
From my understanding so far, there is an interest in doing some other events other than the flag raising, yet there isn't anything specific that has been planned or any action taken just yet. So if we had anything to offer, we could. Yes, Carew?
Dr. Garcia, is there any plan at the school that the youth can do or get involved with the Pride Month?
We can certainly bring that up to the one of the subcommittees from the Equity Advisory Board, probably to put something together. We always tend to respect and celebrate and acknowledge the rights of the LGBTQ community. But I also want to bring another proposal forward, which is basically the celebration of Juneteenth this year. You know, it's on the agenda, right? Okay, all right. So I'm ahead of my time, myself a little bit here, but certainly we can look into it.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia.
Thank you. I think Dr. Barros wanted to speak, so we'll let her go.
Thank you. I want to a couple things, because I want to ask, in the past when the flag has been raised, which flag was raised, because I would really be in favor of recommending or asking that we raise the Progress Pride flag for the purposes of inclusivity and representation in that flag. And I want to say that I think education is going to be a critical component to how we celebrate in June as well, because I mean, in my short time here in Revere, I don't, just to be frank, I haven't seen or felt pride, you know, just, I'm trying to figure out how are folks feeling? What is the comfort level of folks in the city in regards to their identity and being their true and authentic selves? And how do we create space for folks to connect more in this, affinity space, if you will? How do we help educate everyone generationally, those whom, hold are cisgender or dominant identity in regards to sexual orientation? There's a lot of things we don't know, and an opportunity for us to learn. And then how do we create space for people to have pride all year round, right? So I just want to name that, because what we're trying to do is create space to bring more voices to the table to contribute. And we're going to be talking in the next agenda item or two about how we do our work. And so I just want to make sure, as we're having these conversations, that the public recognizes that we want your voices and your contributions and ideas, so then we can figure out how to activate. Flag raising is, of course, one symbolic way to celebrate, but what can we do beyond that? And then how can we also incorporate the education component so that we can really give space for pride all year round, unapologetically?
Thank you, Dr. Barros.
I just want to
Vice
echo
Chair.
what. Oh, sorry. I just want to echo what Dr. Barros had said in terms of, instead of using the pride flag that we use every year, but to use the progress pride flag to be a lot more inclusive, because there are a lot more sexualities that have been brought to attention by society, and I feel like we should acknowledge those as well, on top with being aside from just LGBTQ, but like what that plus means and stuff. Additionally, also a huge emphasis on the education, not only to understand what the different types of sexualities and sexual orientations are, but additionally, like, what are the issues that LGBTQ youth, especially focusing on like people of color who are part of that community, what kind of issues that they go through on a societal basis, and that way we could provide that education in the long term, because I feel like not a lot of people understand what it means to be a part of the LGBTQ community, and like the issues that go along with it. The issues that go along with being an LGBTQ, and how the resources that we could possibly provide can help bring light to those issues, especially for people who don't really know what issues those individuals are going through. Additionally, I also would like to invite people who are part of the LGBTQ community to, if you don't feel comfortable with coming in person and speaking about your experiences and what it is to be part of the LGBTQ community, but to also send along our way like resources that you would like us to spread to the community, as well, like any resources that we already have from like the database that we already established a year ago, and emphasize that, especially when it comes to Pride Month.
Thank you, Vice Chair Shea. Chief Callahan?
Yes, I would just like to commend and fully support Councilor Marabito in his efforts. He works very hard and he's very committed, and it's very important in the community.
Thank you. Chief Bright?
Echo Chief Callahan's comments, thanking Council Morabito for his work in this LGBT.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reverend Tim?
Nothing further to add at this time. Thanks, pass.
Lynn Alexis?
Thank you. I don't really have anything to add to that. I do just want to give voice to anyone with a different experience, and I respect Karu for sharing that you've felt marginalized, and I think it's important for anyone else who has similar stories to be able to come forward, because as a part of the statute of the Human Rights Commission, that's what we're charged to assist with. So I just want to validate your experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn, Rashid?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I just want to take this opportunity to support the LGBTQ community. and commend Councillor Morbito for the hard work that he's been doing to put the flag raising event. He's been a great friend, a great supporter of our community and all the events that we have been doing. I just want to take this opportunity to support him as well. And anything we can do as HRC committee, please let us know. Anything we can do to make that event better or to support the LGBTQ community, please let us know.
Thank you, Rashid. And I'd like to add that because it seems that this community doesn't feel safe to come sort of speak publicly or be celebrated in a big and public way, if the community felt that it would be helpful, maybe affinity groups, spaces where it's safe for them to just, communicate and then sort of decide from that community what might be helpful and how we can support them. So that was just one thought that I might pass along that I wanted to share.
I want to
Vice
echo
Chair.
what. Sorry.
You have to wait till the public forum. Go
Oh, I'm
ahead.
so sorry.
No, it's the people in the audience that I needed to remind them that they need to wait. Go ahead, Vice Chair Shea.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I want to say I just want to emphasize what Madam Chair has said in terms of the affinity groups, that this is for anyone who feels marginalized in the community. I know it seemed like we were just talking about Prima, but I just wanted to let the community know, like, we're talking about people who do feel unsafe and feel marginalized, that they have the opportunity to create these affinity groups in which they could speak freely and safely. So I just wanted to emphasize that. That's all.
Thank you for adding that, Vice Chair. Okay. And so next is Juneteenth. And so I'm happy to say, if you aren't aware, this is the first year that the city is actually, this is the first year that the city is creating a holiday for Juneteenth, and so employees will have the day off. So that's really sort of a significant step. And again, we want to sort of try to be a little bit more proactive. I'm also mindful of time, and so I'll sort of go around, and if you have anything that you'd like to add from maybe some ideas we can, again, offer, think about, recommend. Dr. Garcia?
I just want to say that Juneteenth is an important holiday. I'm glad that President Biden signed the bill into law this past year. Actually, it's the oldest known nationally celebration event commemorating the U.S. Actually, after the independence, for many of you, as to know, after the Declaration of Independence, there are two things really that are huge in this country. One is the end of slavery, and the second one is the end. It's basically the end of Civil War. So this is it's a huge holiday. It has been celebrated throughout the United States, but it's up to the individual states until the bill was signed into law this past year. So Karu just reminded us about some of the aftermaths of the slavery and some issues regarding discrimination and injustice in this country. That's all aftermath. It's all as a result of slavery and those who have been brought here. So it is important. It is a powerful reminder to all of us that those issues still persist in our society. And as a group, as a team, as a society, it's our responsibility to continue to fight those issues in our country. So thank you, and it will be a great opportunity for us to bring guest speakers, hold some workshops, because our job is to really educate the public and to make sure that, those painful experiences that many of us and many of our ancestors have gone through are reminded and are, celebrated and acknowledged overall. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Chief Callahan?
I just want to thank Dr. Garcia for educating people and trying to, pass a powerful message. Thank you, Dr. Garcia.
Thank you.
Excuse me, the more interruptions that we have, the less likely we're going to have a public forum. So, yep. So, Karu?
I am so honored and humbled to live in this city, and I'm glad that there's a holiday like acknowledge for the city of Revere. So I am so thankful for all the elected officials and the city employees and the community for adopting this holiday for Juneteenth. And thank you, Dr. Garcia, for sharing the information.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Kathy Reinstein?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to echo Karu too, and thank you, Dr. Garcia too. I think education is great, and I think learning about things that we don't know, learning about different cultures and countries and experiences that aren't our own, is how we learn to relate to one another. And I think recognizing this, things we've talked about all night, Cambodian New Year, an iftar dinner that's coming up. These things are how we're going to unite this community better. And so I appreciate the education tonight, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn Alexis?
Same. I just want to say that it's always good when inclusivity results in a day off. So I'm all for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Reverend Tim?
Just very quickly, it's great to see this made a holiday now by the city, and it's good just to acknowledge that as such. So that's all.
Thank you. Chief Wright?
Echo Reverend Tim's comment, and long overdue. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Wright. Rashid?
Thanks for the city to acknowledge this important holiday commemorating the end of slavery. I'm glad and proud as all the commissioners to be part of this city, this wonderful city that is including everyone. I'm proud to be part of this team. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Hosseini?
I just want to echo what everyone has said. I also want to, sit here and say from someone who is a supporter of the Black Lives Movement, as someone who is an ally, to just let my fellow allies know, to be there for those individuals who identify as Black or African American, to sit down and understand and help your other future allies what it means to what Black Lives Matter means, what the history of Juneteenth means, and to understand what it means to give space for those who identify as Black and African American. I feel like some allies have a hard time understanding what that border means, but giving space is very important, especially because we don't want to be the voices. We just want to be there for support, and we just want to give space for those who do identify as Black or African American to speak for themselves. But it's important to give space first, and just overall for just the city in general, especially particular individuals of the community, to understand what Black Lives Matter means and the history behind that, and what Juneteenth means, and the history of slavery that stained the United States history for many decades. And I just think, Juneteenth, it's been long overdue. It should have been a holiday centuries ago, but I'm glad that we have it now. So yeah, that's all I have to say. But, I just want to say here as a commission member that, people who are part of all these communities, we are with you guys, and we've got your back. So trust. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Sheikh Hosseini. Dr. Barros, do you want to add anything?
I just want to add that being born in a country of the free, right? It's really hard to even imagine life with your freedom not being in place and you being property to other human beings. It's really hard to fathom. But it is real, and Juneteenth is a reminder of that. And Juneteenth, I always think about the fact that it was a year and some change later. So people had been free. And this is not just commemorating the ending of slavery, but so many people who were free and did not know. And so this is an opportunity to learn about the untold history of our country. So I invite everyone to stay tuned. We will be definitely, Dr. Garcia, you said it well enough, so I won't have to say any more. So education is coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barros. Please, it's not the open forum. It doesn't matter. So, Dr. Barros, I have a question. We have one more agenda item.
Yes, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I am okay with us.
So, Gina, this is not a public forum. This is not a public forum. Please, please. Can you please escort these people?
Thank you.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you, officer. For those of you that weren't here at the last meeting, there's no requirement for us to even have a public forum. We chose to do that. There's no law for us to do that. If there's time, we allow it, but we do not need to offer it. So, because we do have, it's already 6:28, we finished at 6:30. We have one more agenda item, but we're going to have to table it. So I would like a motion to table the agenda item of HRC structure and ongoing work.
Motion to table the remaining agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
I said.
Who second, Carew? All in favor to table that item, please?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And since it is almost 6:30, we don't have time for other business or public forum. And for those of you that feel you were shortchanged, please notice that we didn't get a chance to cover an agenda item, which is our monthly meeting for business. So we did not just disallow the public forum. We didn't have an agenda. So now we'll have a motion for adjournment, please. Excuse me. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Chief Bright. Who seconds it?
I'll second.
Thank you.